Welcome back to Fourth and Nine of Victory. It's your boy Fido and Kristen.
and B. Jenkins.
Yeah, we're in the house, man. We're here just to do our weekly pregame review, film study on Iowa. What we can expect coming up Saturday when the USC Trojans take on the Iowa Hawkeyes at the Coliseum on Saturday. Oh man! So let's get right into it with our first segment.
Yeah.
Mama, there goes that man. In this segment, we talk about the individual on the opposing team that we cannot keep hearing his name called, that we cannot say, Mama, there goes that man again, because he's just killing us doing some outstanding things. So the player that we need to stop on Iowa, either offensively or defensively, to lead to our success. And also that player on USC that we need to hear that name keep getting called. We say, Mama, there goes that man again. So, B, for you, who is it on the Iowa team that we have to stop, we have to be aware of, and we can't let beat us?
Well, for me, it's going to be none other than that quarterback, Mr. Mark Gronowski. You hear his name week in and week out. He is their offense. Passing the ball, uh, running the ball, he is it. So far on the season, he's only thrown about 5 touchdowns with 4 interceptions, but he's able to keep the ball on the ground, keep the chains moving. He's a tough takedown. Almost reminds you of a Tim Tebow because that's how they use him. Once they get inside of that red zone, you can look for him either going up the middle, you can look for him going right or either left. But he's going to keep that ball. So for me, it's none other than that quarterback, Mark Gronowski. If you can get him behind the chains, if you can get him behind the chains, you're going to force him to throw the ball. That's what he does not want to do. So again, when you get him, he's a big kid. He's about 6'3", about 230. So you're gonna have to wrap him up. You can't bump into him and expect for him to go down. He doesn't go down that easy. Again, he reminds me of poor man's Tim Tebow. He's not. As a matter of fact, I think he might be a little faster than Tebow. He's not as quite as stout, not as quite as big, but he is a tough kid. So for me, it's going to be the quarterback, Mark Gronowski.
And on USC side,
On USC side, the name that we have to keep hearing repetitively over and over again, it's going to have to be the leadership of Jay Maiava. Last week, he got back into his rare form, but he also has been really effective running the ball. I look for Iowa to be really aggressive at the line. I look for him to check down at the line like he did on last week. The pressure is going to be coming off the edges. The pressure is going to be coming up the middle. He's going to have to make those adjustments to the offensive line, make the adjustments to the right, and put them in the right play in order for them to be successful. He's going to have to deliver the ball, but most importantly, he's going to have to take care of the ball. So for me, on offense, for us, it's going to be our quarterback, Jay Maiava.
for me on Iowa, it's going to be the same as their quarterback, Mark Nagowski. Not more of his passion, but just his running ability, right? Like you said, he is all their offense. He's a physical runner too. Hey, bring your legs when you come tackle this fella.
Right.
He's excuse me, he's a willing runner as well. So if they stay in third and shorts, third and four, third and threes, and they actually do pass the ball, 9 out of 10 times he's going to run it. And with that big frame, and they do a lot of design runs for him as well. Like you said, he's more effective on the ground than he is in the air, and that just gives them an added thing to stopping the make it a little more challenging to stop the run. When you have a running quarterback and you have a running back, especially if you're giving up the yards on the ground that we are, it's going to make it a lot more challenging. So it's their quarterback. We have to make someone else beat us. Their running back, you look at his yard. King Miller has more yards than their running back, and their running back been starting all year, right?
Right. So that lets you know who keeps the ball, right?
Yeah. So definitely it's going to be, and as a team, they don't run for a lot of yards a game. They're just effective for it to run because what they do is they first down 3 yards, second down 3 yards, third down 3 yards, fourth down, you know what I'm saying, 2 yards, barely get it, and they just bleed the clock, right? That's what they want to do is have ball control, offense, and play great defense. And they have a top 10 defense. Their defense is good every year, so their defense is pretty good. You can see they kept Indiana and Oregon to under 20 points, right? And that's what kept them in that game was they just bled. Me and you were talking as they played Oregon. We seen that one drive where they just ran the ball all the way down the field. They just stayed in 31, 32, barely get the first down, started all over again. And their coach, unlike other teams we played, their coaches are willing and consistent and will stick to the run regardless. They're going to run that ball. So it's up to us to make them not run the ball. And that's we have to get out on them, right? To put them in a situation where they can't.
Exactly.
Offensively, well, not offensively, but my USC mama, there goes that man. It's going to be also Jaden Maiava. For the simple fact is that we're going to need his legs, right? Their rush defense it's pretty good. Their linebackers play downhill. The way you slow those linebackers up is he keeps the ball on their zone read, takes off running, right? Make them think about it, make them slow down so they can't just come right downhill full head of steam. Not only that, he's going to have to continue to play at a high level like he's been playing all year to make some passes in the pass game. The weather supposed to be raining. We know those type of elements. So it's going to be Jaden Maiava, take care of the ball, keep the ball on those zone reads, slow down those linebackers. And when those linebackers do cheat up, make sure you're accurate at the ball and attacking them from where they're leaving. All right, going on to our next segment. What is your USC keys to victory for this weekend?
Well, for me, keys to victory, of course, stopping the run, stopping Iowa's run. How do you do that? You play physical at the corner attack, you load up the box. You trust your DBs on the outside. You said it in the prior segment that we watched Iowa march the ball all the way down the field on Oregon, 3 downs here. 3 yards here, 4 yards here, 2 yards here, first down, move the chains. They're just that patient on offense in order to bleed out their clock, keep your offense off of the field. So for me, it's going to have to be stopping the run. They will nickel and dime you all the way down the field. That's on defense. So step up into the gaps. The linebackers will have to step up into the gaps, be proactive and not reactive. And again, you're going to have to wrap up and get this guy to the ground. Offensively, we may say run the ball because it's going to be a wet and rainy day. But in my opinion, I think we have enough experience. Jay Maiava has enough experience passing the ball. I was going to expect another run game out of us. I think Lincoln Riley is going to come out and surprise them. Even though it's raining, I think he's going to come out and pass the ball. One thing about playing in a rainy condition, sure, you can slip and fall, but the offense knows where they're going. The defense doesn't. If your quarterback doesn't have too much experience passing the ball in the rain, more than likely he won't be passing it. I think that works into our advantage. So for me, I look for Riley to throw the ball just as much as he's going to pass the ball. Why? Because our receivers know where they're going and the DBs don't. And I think we have just enough speed on the outside in order to, once we get that ball in our hand, if we can secure the ball, hold on to the ball, not turn it over, I think that's going to give us an advantage on offense. So I look for Riley to come out and pass that ball, even though it's raining.
My keys to victory is going to be Iowa wants to play a boring game, right? 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, and the college does. Take your crowd out the game because of how boring the game is and what they're doing. Right. That ball control. So my key to victory is we need to control the time of possession. Our offense needs to be on the field more than their offense, right? The more times our offense is on the field, the more opportunities we have to score. And with our offense, we can put pressure on by getting into a lead. So we need to we need to control time of possession. We can't play their style of game. They made Indiana and Oregon. Yes, Iowa had these games at home, but they made both those teams play their style of game, right? That slow, methodical, boring game. So speed the game up, right? I will go some no huddle. You know what I'm saying? Speed the game up. Don't let them get set. Use our speed to our advantage, right? While they're very good on defense, they're not very fast. They're physical, and yes, they come downhill. But athlete for athlete, they can't match up with us, and they're not very fast. They're not very fast on defense. Our defense, again, we say it every week, right? Make the quarterback beat you throwing, right? Don't let them run the ball. And if the quarterback beats you throwing, then hats off to him. This is another quarterback that falls in that same situation where we need to make him a passer, make him beat us past him. Defensively, we cannot continue to give up 4 and 5 and 6 yards on the ground on the first down, right? We're giving up too many yards on first downs where teams are able to stay in second and third and shorts, right? That's a hard way to play defense. We have to somehow find a way to create some negative plays on first down and get them behind the sticks. We get them behind the sticks. We get them in obvious passing situations. That's going to go to our benefit. We at least need to contain them to 2 yards on first down on the ground because they're going to run every first down. And if they're getting 5 and 6 yards, as we've been seeing against like teams have been doing against us all year, it's going to be a long day. So limit their first down rushes, get them behind the sticks so they go out their game plan. Offensively, we have to run the ball because their linebackers come downhill, right? So what running the ball does is that once you have that success in running the ball and they're coming down here, our tight ends can eat. I expect our tight ends to have a big game. While they're good in the run game, they don't cover tight ends very well. They're not the most athletic linebackers, but they are physical, good tacklers, and they're going to fill the gaps and they're going to come downhill. And so what running the ball is going to do is if we can run the ball effectively, right, consistently, that's going to open up our play action to fake it to King Miller, whoop, right over their head, as we've seen our offense do all the time. Special teams need to be special. They do have good special teams. They do have good returners. So we can't allow what happened at Notre Dame to happen this game. Don't give up no freebies, right? No kickoff returns, no punt returns. Special teams need to be special. They're the least penalized team in the nation. So we can't go in and be having 6 penalties for 80 yards. You know, they're giving up only like 18 yards a game on penalties. They're very disciplined. They don't beat themselves. So because of that, we have to be disciplined, and we can't be having false starts and illegal men downfield, jumping off sides on defense, giving up those yards because they're going to be disciplined, and we can't turn the ball over. I know it's going to be raining. But in a game like when you play with Iowa, when possessions are limited because they control the clock so much, especially if we can't contain their run and defense get off the field, every possession is going to count. So we can't have any turnovers. Also, red zone. They're 92% success rate in the red zone. A lot of it due to what you said, that quarterback of theirs, right? And his ability to run. Once they get into that 20, they're pretty much automatic. We're going to have to, if we do let them go down the field, we're going to have to man up in that red zone. Hold them to field goals, right? That'll be a win for the defense if they drive the whole length of the field. It's hold them to a field goal. That way our offense can score touchdowns, and when we still can put them in a situation they don't want to. So red zone defense definitely going to have to step up. All right. Moving on. It's that time, man. First down. Your scouting on Iowa's offense and how USC should attack them on defense.
Okay. On offense, we just covered it, right? Gronowski. Stop him. You stop Iowa's
One
offense.
word. What'd you say? The offense? One word.
Gronowski. You stop him. You stop the offense. Sure, they have another running back. It's Mr. Hold on. Where's his name? I got it written down. Moulton. Mr. Kamari Moulton. He has the most carries on the team, but he's only got into the end zone 2 times on the season. Second leading rusher on the team, not surprisingly to me, if you watch the film, Mark Gronowski, the quarterback. He has the second leading carries on the team, but he has 12 touchdowns. Okay, throwing. He has way more touchdowns rushing. He has way more touchdowns rushing than he has throwing. Right now, he's only had 5 TDs throwing, but 12 touchdowns rushing, which means that he is looking to carry the ball. Now, I'm not saying that once they get into the red zone, he won't pull a Tebow a la fake run and throw a jump pass. He will do that. However, with the rainy conditions that's scheduled for Saturday, 90% chance of rain, more than likely he's going to be keeping that ball in his hand. So look for either him or the running back, Moulton, to keep the ball. We're going to have to, again, be gap sound. We're going to have to do what? Tackle. Make sure we wrap him up around his legs. He does not go down easy, okay? We can't bump into him like a pinball. We'll have to get this guy down onto the ground. If we can get them behind the chains on first and second down, then you force him into a situation that he does not like being in, and that's what throwing the ball. They don't have much success throwing the ball down the field, but they will throw a screen across the middle of in the middle of the field, or they will go to the outside for a quick slant or quick pass, almost like a handoff out of the backfield. So for me, fill the gaps, play sound man on the outside, be aggressive, knock those receivers off of their timing route, and get Mr. Gronowski onto the ground.
All right. For me, looking at our offense, right? Typical pro style offense, right? They don't run a lot of spread. They don't run a lot of 3 to 4 wide receiver sets, right? Line up with 2 wide receivers. They'll bring the extra offensive lineman or 2 tight ends. Very run heavy. That's what they want to do. They want to make the game boring. They want to play in the phone booth. They want to run the ball. If you see them bring in the 3rd and 4th wide receiver and spread you out, guess what they want to do? They want to run the quarterback. They want to run the quarterback.
Right.
They want to that tall tail slide, right? They want to run the quarterback. 9 out of 10 times that when they bring in 3 or 4 wide receivers and they spread you out, it's a quarterback draw, a quarterback counter. That's what they want to do. They don't want to throw the ball, right?
At all.
And to me, I normally talk scheme and, we should have this linebacker, we should run this set, right? To me, this game doesn't even come down to scheme. It comes down to one thing, and it's gonna be physicality, right? Are we gonna allow their front to push us around, to push around our front 7? That's what it comes down to. It comes down to physicality, and can you do it for 4 quarters, right? Like you said, load the box. Play man on the outside. To be honest, I wouldn't even go a 2 high safety look. Why?
Yeah.
Go one high safety. Bring that other safety down, right? You know what I'm saying? Into the box. No need to go a 2 high safety look, right? Especially on first down. Every first down should be a run blitz. Invite them to beat you throwing the ball. If you can remember, we came out. We haven't had a 3 and out on defense the first drive of the game since Michigan, right? And what happened against Michigan? Michigan played right into our hand. We loaded the box, brought everybody up. They tried to throw a go route. They was behind the sticks. Was able to get them off the field. So, again, we need to do the same thing. Invite Iowa to throw the ball. Load up that box. I'm going to go back to what you said in Illinois. I mean, let them lay down. Lay down
in the gap. Lay down in the gap. Do something.
Use what you call a human. You say use them as human.
Speed bump. Human speed bump.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's slow the run. Hey, do whatever you got to do to minimize their net rushing yards on first down. Right.
True.
Get them behind the sticks. Right. Run blitz on first down. Load that box. Get out that 2 high safety look. Bring that safety down into the box. But it's going to come down to on both sides of the ball, on both sides of the line. Are we going to let them push us around? Because they're coming and they're physical. And a word to the team, I know last week they were defensively were saying they were shocked about how aggressive and how physical Northwestern is. I'm telling you, Iowa is aggressive. The better old line than Northwestern, and they're physical.
Oh yeah.
Prepare for it. Know it's going to happen, and know they're going to run the ball. Right. Also with that, even while we're loading the box and all that, our ends got to make sure that they're not coming too far upfield, or the quarterback can keep them cut right inside of them. We see that happen a lot. Yeah, got to have your rush lane integrity. Got to play your keys. Got to have your technique. Man, and don't let their offense. This is to the fans, right? Especially the ones who are going to be there live. Don't let the boringness of their offense quiet you down. That's what they want. They want to take the crowd out the game and control the ball. Stay loud on every third down, on every first down. No matter if they're going 3 yards, and they're on a 14-yard play. That's what they want. Keep the energy loud. Make it hard for them to be able to communicate. All right, moving on to second down. You're scouting on Iowa's defense and how USC should attack them on offense.
Well, for me, their defense, one of the stingiest defenses in the nation. I think they're giving up under 14 around 14, 15 points a game. To me, the toughest part of their defense is their defensive line. We talk about getting after the quarterback. Max Llewellyn, defensive end, 6 sacks on the season, 20 tackles. Then you on the other side, you got Mr. Ethan Herkett. He has 4 sacks and 25 tackles on the season. So those defensive linemen are going to look at getting after the quarterback or watching film of another game that they played. And for me, I want to say it's to go to the air. I know it's going to be a wet and rainy day, but I watched them play against Rutgers. And Rutgers scored the most points on them on the season, right? 28 points. Rutgers lost that game 38-28 through the air. Sure, they ran the ball once they got in the red zone, but Rutgers quarterback threw for 330 yards on Iowa's defense. How did they do it? They spreaded them out. They got the speed in open spaces. They threw to their receivers. And once they got inside the red zone, that's when they ran the ball. So for me, it's going to be attacking through the air. Again, I know it's going to be a wet and rainy day, but Jay Maiava has experience doing the rain against Purdue, doing the rain against Notre Dame. So he had some experience. As a matter of fact, I think he threw for close to 300 yards against Notre Dame in the rain. We just so happened to have a bunch some turnovers. But I'm going to take the different approach. I want to say, hey, look, we need to attack them through the air. We need to attack them through the air. To me, that's their weakest point. Maybe the run game, yeah, we're going to mix in some runs. I know Riley is going to hold true to his word, hold true to form. He's going to keep on the ground. But from what I saw, the majority of the points that they gave up, and really that came down to a one-score game. Rutgers lost that game really on a kick return. You mentioned that Iowa has some great special team play. To start off the game, they gave up a kick return 102, 103 yards. And they ended up losing that game by 10 points. That was 7 points, and then they missed a field goal. So if you limit that kickoff return and you convert on your field goal, then Rutgers is right there in the game with them. So for me, it's going to be attack them through the air.
All right. For me, they run a 4-2. It's a typical. It's a 4-2-5 with a little variance in it. They do a lot of disguising of their coverage, right? But they run a 4-2-5. They don't run a lot of man, but they will. The defensive coordinator is pretty good. He's been at Iowa, long as the coach has. I mean, forever. He does normally drop some good little schemes, blitzing from different places and things like that, dropping people. So Maiava will need to be. To me, this will be his toughest test this year. This is the toughest defense that we have faced. It'll be our offensive toughest defense that we have played this year. So Maiava just got to know where the blitz coming from, throw into that blitz where that person is leaving, take care of the ball. Like you said, their front seven, it's not just their defensive line, their front seven is really good. Their linebackers are good too. They come downhill. But like I said earlier, our tight ends should have a big game, right? They don't cover well. They're not very just fast and athletic, but they are true Big Ten linebackers, right? That come down, hit you, feel the run gaps and all that. The reason I say we need to run the ball is for the simple fact that Riley's offense and our offense is better when it's not one dimensional, right? It's just like we want to make the other team one dimensional and say stop their run and make them pass. That's what the teams want to do to us. Is Iowa's mentality is keep everything in front of us. Just don't give up the explosive. Let's see if they're patient enough to work their way down the field and take what we give them. Last week was a good sign against Northwestern. I think our first drive was like 16 plays, right? Maiava was taking what was there. We were running the ball, right? Again, running the ball, what it does is put those linebackers in a predicament, right? Because if our offensive line, again, it comes down to physicality and not getting pushed around. If our offensive line can play like they played outside of the Notre Dame game, we'll be fine, because those linebackers gonna have to start coming up, cheating, try to help with that run. That's when we hit them right over the top. I expect us to stay in a lot of the 2 tight end sets like we do, especially if offensive line has some struggles blocking. But again, looking for Maiava to slow down them linebackers by keeping the ball right on the zone reads, right? sure, they're crashing down like that, filling them gaps. Hey, keep it tuck and go, get what you can get, and get down. But again, to me, this is gonna all come down to physicality, right? Offensive line, are you gonna move their great defensive line? Or are you gonna let them whoop you all night? Our defensive line, are you gonna let their good offensive line push you around all night? Or you gonna what you say do, or you gonna do something about it? To me, this
Right.
game is gonna come down, to the trenches again. I do agree they're susceptible in the pass game, especially if we can run the ball and they got to send extra help. They're not gonna be able to man up on our wide receivers and our speed on the outside. I don't like that it's raining, but that's Mother Nature. Can't do anything about it. It's just freaky things happen in the rain, especially with ball security and things like that. But that's how I would attack them. Moving right along to third down. Expectation for game. Well, USC covered a 7-point spread. And I got third and fourth down. Man, the weather flipped up on us. I thought it was going to be
6.5, right?
When I looked, it was 7, so it might be 6.5, 7, depending on what you
right. What site you're going? Right.
Yeah. I thought it was gonna, it never rains in Southern California, but living there, I know that's not true.
Right.
It didn't rain much, but
right.
Now we'll see. It's 60% chance. Hopefully, it hold up. But regardless, I think we do. 6.5, 7. I think we do.
Which is basically, a touchdown, score a touchdown. Yes.
Yeah, that's
touchdown and field goal. Right.
And this is why. So far in every game, and I already know what you're gonna say. Outside of Notre Dame, you're gonna say just throw that away, burn that film. Right. But outside of Notre Dame, in every game that we needed to make the quarterback beat us and not let them run the ball on us, even though we've given up so many yards per average and they had success, our defense has been able to make enough stops early for us to hop out ahead and totally make them abandon the run, like against Northwestern, and make the quarterback have to beat us. So I think Saturday, our defense at home, that they'll make a stop early, right? They'll make a stop early. Offense gonna do their thing, and we'll be able to make them play our type of ball game and not play their type of ball game. So we jump out by two scores or more and kind of force them to go away from just being able to just run the ball, and take them out their game plan. Every game so far, even though our rush defense hasn't been good and teams have just been running the ball on us, at some point the defense has been able to come up with a stop and get off the field and allow us to go up by double digits. And I think the defense, knowing what's going on, especially as well as our corners are playing now, that Anton Lynn don't wait to second quarter like he did against he didn't wait against Northwestern because we were loading the box at the beginning of the game.
The team waited.
That we come out and we get some stop earlys, man, and go up on them and put that pressure on them like we've done these other teams, and then our pass rushers can eat, what I'm saying, and make them leave the run, right, and not be able to do their game plan and go to the air. So I think we do cover.
Okay. I think we cover. I'm not going to give a score prediction. I don't like giving score predictions. We talk about rain all day Friday, all day Saturday, 90% chance. It would be ideal. I
thought it was 60%.
No, it's 90%. I just looked at
man.
It would be.
It's supposed to be like thunderstorm, like real rain, right? Like,
right. I'm talking about downpour rain. It would be ideal. I know this is wishful thinking, but it would be ideal to move this game to SoFi Stadium. Right? Wishful thinking. But
that's not gonna happen. Not this late in the game.
Not this late. I don't know. Depends on how bad that field is. I think the field is gonna be really mushy, especially with the amount of rain that we're getting. I hate it. It sucks because it's homecoming, right? Which is gonna put a damper on all of the festivities because we're talking about homecoming.
And people coming to the game and giving us
advantage. When you think homecoming, you think about outdoor activities, right? Barbecues, pep rallies. You think about all of those good things you have during homecoming. So, what Rainey Sagi feel? I look forward to be some turnovers, to be honest, which is going to impact the game because the field and conditions are going to be so wet. The only problem that would stop the game is you know as well as I know is something similar happened in that Purdue game where we had where they had lightning strikes, and they had to postpone it for like what was it 2.5 3 hours. So I want to say yes.
Man, no, it was like 2:30. I don't think the game started till like 6:30.
Yeah, I want to say yes, that would cover, but it really depends on how many turnovers there is in that game. And this is both sides turning the ball over due to the wet conditions. So the only thing
that's why I don't.
The only thing I'm hoping
that's why I don't like this rain in this game, because all they're gonna do is run the ball. We're gonna be trying to throw and all that, so we're more susceptible to the turnovers than they are to having them.
The only thing I'm concerned about getting is the W, whether it's by 1 point or whether by 21 points. So, yeah, I think we cover though.
All right, we both in agreement. Before I go on to this next segment, you're not gonna get that score prediction?
No. No score prediction.
I wonder if Baby T gonna be out there in the rain Saturday. She probably will be.
No, she might.
All right, fourth down. Offense and defensive impact players of the game. Projecting who we think the offensive and defensive player of the game would be for USC. Offensively, I'm going with Jaden Maiava for all the things we already stated as far as how important his legs going to be to this game, right? And to taking advantage of those aggressive linebackers. Not only that, toughest defense that we'll play that we have played so far this year. And their defensive coordinator likes to scheme up a lot, send pressure from different places. So Maiava being able to discern where that pressure is coming from, where to go with the ball. I think this is going to be a game that Jaden Maiava, continue to play well, have a big game and be an impact player, not only just through the air and with his legs, and not only that, just with the decision making. His decision making has been off the charts this year, right? From what we haven't seen those same type plays that we were seeing last year from him. The kid has played outstanding, so I expect Jaden Maiava to have a game like he had against Northwestern. If he has that type of game, we definitely be victorious, even though we're in the rain. But man, I expect him to even have more rush yards than he had in that game due to the weather and just how they play defense and their linebackers not being fast. And so if we can get him chasing the run, right, stepping up, and he keeps that, he can outrun those linebackers and get 5 or 6 yards, right, or even bigger plays with his mobility. So I'm going to go with Jaden Maiava defensively. We haven't said his name since like the first 4 games, but I think this is a game that Eric Gentry is the impact player of the game. Throughout the first half of the season, he was on the All-American pace, kind of have tailored off a little bit, right? But I think this is a game like when we played Illinois. It's like when we have to have a stop and we're trying to get on the field, that somehow he's going to knock the ball off somebody's hand, going to get a sack, them long body getting like he's going to make a play. We're going to need him to. So I'm going to go with Eric Gentry is going to be a defensive impact player this week. I'm projecting.
You took my guy off of defense. For me, on defense, since you took Eric Gentry, I'm going to see Anthony Lucas. He's been really effective off of that edge. Sometimes they move him on the inside, but it's mainly on the edge, right? He's been one of our tougher defenders. He gets the pressure on the quarterback, and he was the one who actually made the tackle on Nebraska's quarterback. And unfortunately, ended the season for Dylan Raiola. He's been a staple on his defense outside of Mr. Eric Gentry and Bishop Fitzgerald. We're talking about all 3 levels of the defense. He's been a solid player for us on the defense. So for me, it's going to be Mr. Anthony Lucas. On offense, I want to cheat a little bit. I want to say both of our tight ends. Lake McCree.
Okay, I give that to you. The tight end room. I feel you.
Tight end room. Lake McCree and Walker Lyons. Again,
good pick. Good picks. That's a good pick.
Talk about the short pass game. They've been dependable, especially Mr. Walker Lyons, who I think is going to be the future of the tight end after this season. He's come up with some big catches. For most part, they've done a heck of a job blocking, especially downfield. I look for us to do play action, like you said. I look for Lincoln Riley to send our receivers deep, especially Chinook Hines and Makai Living. I look for that middle to be wide open. You mentioned it earlier in the segment, how that you don't think that their linebackers are athletic enough to keep up with our tight ends. Well, I look for Jay Maiava to take advantage of that matchup and throw it to our tight ends either in the flat or throw that middle tight end screen that Lincoln Riley was surprising with. So I also look for to do some misdirection with those tight ends and free up our running back out of the backfield, maybe on a wheel route. But eventually, I think that our tight end is going to be that safety blanket for Jay Maiava this game.
Most. All right, on to our last segment. Man, we was on our live Saturday. People was talking about it, man. We got to continue doing this. This is B Jenkins segment. It's called "The Job's Not Done." Going into the Michigan game. After that Illinois loss, right? He had some words for the team, some encouragement. Team came out and played on fire, so we thought we would continue to do it. It seems like his work has been very successful. Not sure the team is hearing it or not, but they're playing like they're hearing it. So job not done. What you got for us this week, B?
Well, we got a new opportunity, right? New opportunity to move towards our goal, the goal that we set for ourselves at the beginning of the season. Remember what I always say to the team: remember the past, don't live in it. I said again, remember the past, don't live in it. Last week we had a pretty decent game. This week poses a new problem. It's a newer and a tougher opponent. The goalpost has been moved, unfortunately. What you did last week is no longer good enough this week. You understand? You're going to have to go out. You're going to have to play assignment football. The weather's not going to be great. They're going to be playing the same weather too. You'll have to line up. It's going to have to be man on man, helmet on helmet. The fact that I'll say this, the quickest point between two, let me rephrase that. The fastest distance between 2 points is a straight line. The fastest distance between 2 points is a straight line. I was in the way of that. Right now, you're at point A. You can settle for a mediocre bowl game, or you can keep moving forward in that straight line and head towards that goal that you set for yourselves at the beginning of the season. Again, the fastest way between two distances or 2 points is a straight line. You can't go around it. You can't climb over the top of it. You can't tunnel underneath it. You can't reroute it and head in a different direction. The fastest distance between 2 points is a straight line. I was in the way of your path. You're going to have to move them. They're not going to do it willingly. They're not going to move out of the way for you. You're going to have to forcefully do it. All right. If you want to continue on this path, reach the goals that you set for yourself, our has to go. How do you do that? You play physical. You don't expect for them to be softer than what you thought the last opponents was. Remember the feeling that you had after you won that game. You want to keep that feeling? You have to take care of business here. All right. You got more work to do. Unfortunately, the goalpost is going to be moved every week. There's going to be new expectations for you. Again, what you did last week is no longer good this week. I know what you say. Hey, look, the media is always moving the goalpost for us. Well, that's the job. You keep proving them wrong. Same 100 yards on that field. The goalpost is moved back every week. Why? Because your job is not finished right now. Your job is not finished. Again, you can settle for a mediocre bowl game right now. You can lay it down right now. All right. Give up on the rest of the season. Or you can be determined, stay along that path, and move out of your way. Either way, they have to go if you want to continue with your mission. All right. So again, it's going to be a tall task for you. And we're going to ask that you be better this week than you were last week. But for most importantly, you're going to have to ask that of yourselves. Are we going to be better this week than we were last week? Again, fellas, the job's not done. Good luck to you.
All right. Most definitely appreciate that. We believe in you, fellas. We're going to be here rooting on you. That is a good segue into our last slide here. We will be live as normal Saturday. We'll be kicking off our show 2 p.m. Central. The game is at 2:30 Central. So we will be on 30 minutes earlier, getting all ready for the game. We will be here for the game as we do every USC Trojan game. We'll allow you to comment. We'll allow you to call in right to the show as we break down the game, as we watch the game, share what we're seeing and what's going on. We definitely appreciate everyone that calls in every Saturday and comment in every Saturday and watch the game with us and be on it, man. I mean, we've had people from overseas, people all over the United States, man, and Trojan fans just able to, watch the game together, enjoy as we break it down. But we allow you to call in and share your thoughts on what you see as well, what you think is going on, or anything you want to share. So we definitely invite it. So again, this Saturday, 11:15. The game kicks off at 2:30 p.m. Central. We'll be here at 2 p.m. Central. The game is on the Big Ten Network this week, but we will definitely be here live. Hope everyone come out. Can't wait to see you. B, before we get out of here, I'm going to pass it over to you for some closing words before I close it out.
Well, like you said, we appreciate you guys showing up. All of the regulars that we have on our live, we appreciate it. Continue to like, share, subscribe. Share the channel. We're trying to grow this channel, but again, we created this channel with the fans in mind. So whenever you join us live, you're welcome to call in, voice your opinion about what do you see going on in the game. Sometimes you may want to even vent, voice your frustrations. Every play that Riley calls or every play that Lynn calls, you're not gonna agree with it. If you have a platform that we've created that you guys can voice your opinion, the only thing we ask is that you be respectful. Be respectful of the platform. So with that, I'll pass it back to you so we can close this thing out.
All right, man. We appreciate everybody, man. Again, we will be here Saturday, November the 15th at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. The game is at 2:30 Central Standard Time. It's going to be on the Big Ten Network. Please come out and enjoy it with us, man. Call in your comments, man. We definitely appreciate and love all the interaction with everyone that we interact with every Saturday, from everyone that comment, everyone that call in, from everyone that like and subscribe and share. Man, we appreciate all the love. This is our first season. We started this the first game of the year, man. It's been such an honor and a privilege, and definitely enjoy it. Again, we'll see you guys Saturday. Man, as always, to the Trojan family, man, beat Iowa. Fight on, fight on.
Fight on.